All right, let's return to an earlier story, and we're looking at the Northern Cape. The search continues, of course, for 5 people who are unaccounted for following heavy rains and flooding in Namaqualand. 5 towns have been completely cut off from the outside world. SABC News' Reginald Witbooi is in Springbok. Reginald, just tell us what the situation is right now.
Good evening to you, Francis, and also to our viewers. We went out today, and what I can tell you is that it's a disaster on the ground. So what we know at this stage is that the search and rescue teams from the South African Police Service, they are on the ground, on foot, looking for those 5 missing people. And then also those 5 towns, like you mentioned, still cut off from the rest of the world. Now, we also know that a mother had to give birth to a baby son, and we had the opportunity earlier on to speak virtually to her, and she was telling me that the baby is healthy. She was very anxious when she had to deliver the baby on Thursday, but she's saying that they still need medical care to get the assurance that the baby is indeed healthy. She ran out of nappies and milk for the baby, and several roads also still closed, the N7, R352 and R355. But just giving us an update on this dire situation here in the Namaqualand area, I'm joined by Dr. Gustav Bock from the Namaqualand municipality. Doctor, yesterday you told me that you are in the process of declaring this situation a state of emergency. What is the latest development on the ground?
Well, thank you, Reginald, and your viewers. Just to give a brief summary also, the water is busy subsiding, but the damage is truly extensive in access road infrastructure with 40 or 50 meters gaps, making it impossible for vehicles, emergency vehicles to cross. So the one most important thing that we will need is aerial support. Now it's day 5 of this disaster, and we have been in a meeting where an application was basically lodged for this aerial support through South African Police Service. So hopefully by tomorrow we will have aerial support to make it easier to get goods over to the people at Buffelsrivier, Kommegas and Kleinseer. What I can say is I've driven to Fuelsdrift, and there is through fare for light vehicles, but heavy vehicles is still prohibited to go through there. But for all intents and purposes, those communities like Fuelsdrift and Rooiwal will be able to get resources from their nearest town, that is Steenkop, about 50 kilometers from them. So basically we are in the process again with our team working hard to gather information. We've compiled it today. As you know, we should now submit for a classification today, and then the National Disaster Unit in collaboration with the provincial government needs to then grade and classify this area as a disaster, a local disaster.
You are talking about that road, the N7, and we know that that road is being used to transport goods to neighboring country, Namibia, and Namibia is dependent on South Africa for goods. Is there an alternative route for those trucks to get goods through or not?
Basically, from what I know, SANRAL is placing, the risk onto the truck drivers or the owners of those trucks if they choose to go through to Fuelsdrift, from Steenkop through to Fuelsdrift along the N7. There is an alternative route that was indicated from SANRAL, and most of those trucks seemingly is taking that alternative route through Port Nolloth, Alexander Bay to Keetmanshoop.
Okay, thank you so much. That is the mayor of the Namaqualand municipality. Just a quick one from the Namaqualand district executive mayor. From your side, what are you doing to assist in this dire situation, mayor?
No, thank you very much, Reginald, and also thank you very much of good evening to the viewers outside there. Now, what we have done, we have just convened a DJOC meeting, a District Joint Operations Committee meeting, whereby we have a virtual platform with the Premier and some of the MECs, and I can communicate now that there will be aerial support for us, like the mayor just alluded to, maybe tonight or early tomorrow morning, just to go to the towns of Buffelsrivier, Kommagas and Cleansea, and also the Department of Social Development is also committed to supply food parcels through those aerial support for those communities. And then what the local municipalities should do, they should declare this as a disaster, and then we will take those declarations from them and declare it also as a whole of the district as a disaster. And then province and national must thus classify then what type of disaster it will be. But we will need assistance from the provincial and national government in terms of this disaster that is happening in our region.
Thank you so much. So it will mean all hands on deck, and we know that the Joint Operations Committee also been established to assist in this crisis that played out here in the Namaqualand region. But they are saying provincial and national government need to play their part, and also they are putting their hope on also Good Samaritans to assist and get the necessary aid to those affected towns, Francis.
Yeah, hopefully those 5 missing will be found soon. Reginald Witbooi, thank you very much, reporting from the Namaqualand area, and of course he'll stay on that story for us.